Fools.
Balrogs Blastbeats back for 2023. It took a little bit of a break. You may notice that one background of the three has changed if you're watching this on YouTube. We've been switching things up just a little bit, but it's quite nice to be back, I have to say.
I moved to plant.
Margy moved to plant.
I needed a month off for that.
Yeah, I think I might have changed one of the vinyl behind me, which was it took a lot of effort. It really, really did. This is the Nerdiest podcast
islands
that was.
Entirely. So,
yeah, you live overseas now.
Yeah. Don't do it. Don't move overseas. It is actually extremely difficult.
To Tasmania.
Yeah. Still got to freight everything you own.
But this right here is the nerdiest podcast that ever there was, the coolest of the uncool. I am one of your hosts, Joshua Redbeard.
I am another one of your hosts, Margy. That was a nice little vocal fry there.
And I am the other host that always has to tie things up here. My name is Grant, and as always, we're going to get into the nerdiest thing we've done this week, or since we've been gone for a while, why don't we just do the nerdiest thing? Yeah. Let's just do the Kelly Clarkson edition and just the nerdiest thing you've done over the holiday break.
Right. So, Grant, why don't you start us off?
Oh, it's probably not the nerdiest thing I've done over the holiday break because I've just winged that. But I went and saw Operation Fortune yesterday. The new Guy Ritchie film with Aubrey Plaza, Hugh Grant, Jason Statham. And yeah, it was fantastic. Hugh Grant was definitely standout, as he always is in a Guy Ritchie film. His first line is, he has one of those funny cancers, like cock cancer or something like that. That is his first line in the entire movie. Like, wow, that is not the Hugh Grant I knew, but I love it.
What about the Hugh Grant in Glass Onion? If you haven't seen Glass Onion
I haven't seen Glass Onion yet.
Hugh Grant makes a brief cameo in Glass Onion, and it's wonderful.
Really good. Yeah, I really enjoyed the first one. I didn't watch it. I watched it only pretty recently, the first one, the first Knives Out, and it was surprisingly really good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll have to check out Glass Onion before Netflix gets everyone's accounts banned for having a small share.
I read something today.
They're not all under the one roof.
Apparently they're flipping those rules again. Apparently because of the backlash, they've flipped the rules. I haven't seen that confirmed, but I was reading something just earlier today.
I heard a rumor that but
right.
Also
bring back the pirate life.
Yeah.
The pirate
life for me.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the first backflip legally that's gone over the holiday break. If anyone's been keeping up with the D&D, the new document they were trying to revoke so they could remove all the the third party made D&D content and make it illegal. Basically, is what they were trying to do. But then everyone's like, no, thanks, please don't do that. You said that your previous document was irrevocable, and now you're going to try and revoke it so you can take all of our businesses away.
Yeah, they wanted 25% or something like that of anyone who was making money, anyone like Critical Role who had their own thing that was based on 5e. But they got
completely wanted to get rid of anything that came physical as well. You could no physical product. You could do digital product, but you were going to get charged a fee for it.
I mean, they didn't even invent D&D. The inventor of D&D had to ended up having to sell the idea to Wizards because he went totally bankrupt because he hired business managers because D&D was taking off so well, and he couldn't keep up with the demand for D&D, plus still, coming up with all the creative stuff. So he hired business managers who actually drove them into the ground. He lost all of his money, and that's why he had to sell it, and that's why it's owned by Wizards of the Coast now.
Wow, and funnily enough, Wizards of the Coast did the same thing, and then they ended up with Hasbro.
It goes full circle.
I mean, to be honest, maybe if they had have just had that agreement from the start, they'd probably have money. True, it is probably an issue that affects them, but at the same time, it's too late now. It's a community owns it. It's too late.
Yeah, 100%. There's so many good videos on YouTube though about people breaking it down and how you can see exactly everywhere that Hasbro's lied about this and lied about that. There's one that even goes into I'll have to. I'll find. I'll tell you. I'll find it. I'll link it into the show notes because there's one where this dude went as far as to interview people at Wizards of the Coast to find out what the the corporate culture is like, and so many people are miserable there at the moment. Like, they apparently it's just not a fun place to work. Like, and that's heartbreaking because I'm a big fan of everything that they produce. But yeah, I'll find it. I'll link it in the show notes because it is a really good watch, but it's kind of depressing at the same time.
It must just be product fatigue. Like, it must be like they must be being forced to produce so much more content. Well, I can't like Magic. I can't keep up with it anymore. The last set I can't remember what the last set I purchased was. I think I bought a couple of those fancy space lands. That was it, and I don't even know what set they're from.
I've definitely got my pre-order that'll be ready on Friday for fucking New Phyrexia. Is it New Phyrexia? Well, no, Obi-Wan.
I don't know. I've stopped paying attention.
That is the new one. There was one called New Phyrexia, but now that is Old Phyrexia because the new one is Phyrexia or Obi-Wan.
Yes.
Obi-Wan.
I'm still on top of it, but I'm doing some terrible, terrible things. I have some terrible ideas for new Magic decks that I'm excited for.
I've been new? Since I've moved to Tasmania, I've just been like trying to find all the groups I can so I can at least find a Magic pod down here that's not on the other side of the island. So I know people like from Hobart that play Magic, but I'm not driving 6-hour round trip every time I want to play Magic. That's
where's your dedication? Jeez.
It's the petrol price that's getting me. It's not the dedication.
All right, we need a team of wombats to drive a sled.
Yeah,
this will work. Just
I get wallabies in the backyard all the time. I'll see if I can convince a couple of them to take me down there, show me the way.
Oh yeah, your noticing thing was you saw a movie. Was there a follow up to that, or did we?
We just went on a tangent, but yeah, no,
that's all right.
At the end of the day, if you like Guy Ritchie, it's a Guy Ritchie film. There's nothing different. Doesn't reinvent his wheel, but it was entertaining. It's probably missing a twist. Like, he's usually got quite a few twists. There's maybe a twist short, but in the same time, it was a well-rounded story. How about you, Margy?
A few twists short of a pretzel.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. What was the notice thing you've done over the holidays?
Oh, I've been dissociating a lot. So I was like, what have I been doing? But luckily, my life provided. And so this is not something that I've read, watched, heard, or played, but I did have to read stuff to do this. But I've been on a wait list for an ADHD assessment from a psychiatrist for like over 6 months. And I was booked in May. And then my appointment got pushed forward to this Thursday. And I was like, fuck yes, like I'm ready for this. And then I had to pay $900, which is half my life savings because, anyway, so and I just need to get on a socialist soapbox for a little minute because it's ruining my life. Like, so if you have ADHD or you're neurodivergent, it's harder to work full time. Like, I can't work full time, so I work 3 days a week. So how are you supposed to pay for the psychiatrist? And like, also, if you have ADHD, you're more likely to have impulsive behaviors. And that's one reason why saving is so hard. And then you have to pay $900. Anyway, and then to get a Medicare rebate, I had to book in to see my doctor, who is a private billing doctor, which was $160, so I could get a letter from her for the psychiatrist, even though I already had psychologist letters, but they don't count as a GP letter. So that I had to pay another $160 so that I could get a Medicare rebate back from the Anyway, so money, not a lot of it. That's an update. And hopefully, though, by the next time we record, I will be medicated and I might actually be a functional human somewhat. That would be nice, wouldn't it? But and in the meantime, between me crying over the state of affairs, and yes, we have Medicare, but Medicare is pretty shit. And the way that our healthcare system is constructed. Anyway, so in between that, I've just been finishing Clone Wars and Rebels, and I wept like a baby in both. It's been emotional. That's Star Wars, obviously.
Cute.
But yeah, crying over animated series. Anyway, that's my socialist check-in. Fuck you, government. Fuck you, psychiatrists. Josh, over to you for your communist updates.
I have been I've been like getting like deep into video games. I got food poisoning over Christmas, and so I barely left the couch, and then I didn't really leave like, you know, through like the New Year's break or whatnot. So it's just like, well, fuck it, I'm gonna play a lot of games. And so I started a new thing on Satisfactory, which obviously we've spoken about previously,
In depth.
but in depth. But just last week on the Northside Nerds Twitch, I restarted World of Warcraft, and it is just as addictive as I remember it being in the first place. So we're down a very dark and dangerous path. I am already a level 20 fucking whatever I am, paladin, blood elf paladin. Because for the horde.
No, just I'm already level 20. No idea what I've been playing as. Just made it to level 20. No fucking idea what I'm doing.
Yeah, I wanted to be a paladin just because I wanted some big fancy fucking hammer and give, like, you know, use the power of Jesus Christ to compel beasts. But I'm a paladin in the horde, so it's not exactly like I'm a holy person at the same time. Like, I'm just a bit of a prick. But no, it's been interesting getting back into it because I stopped playing WoW like 15 years ago. Like when I was playing it, there was just the original and the Burning Crusade, and I think that was it. Maybe
I just thought there was one, so that's more than I've ever.
Well, they've had like
they're just the add-ons.
Yeah, there's like I think they've had like multiple expansions and whatnot. And so I missed out on a whole bunch, and so I've gotten back into World of Warcraft, and then I've immediately been shot into this land that's like based on like a lot of like Aztec culture, but Aztecs, if they were like, there's a lot of like dinosaurs and lizards and shit, and it's sick. It's lots and lots of fun, and I've just recently made 2 giant. I mean, they're not brontosauruses, but they look like brontosauruses fall in love with each other by like helping these 2 goblins with like one. They weren't working together, but they both had like half the science. One was a social scientist, one was a chemist, and then I had to bring them together and knock over my bottle of water. But then like, I had to right? But then I had to go and like give the love potion to one, but then the other one wouldn't make love because there was a spider thing somewhere else. So I had to go and kill the spider thing. And then I had to like make one angry to go and fight this bigger thing that I couldn't fight on my own. So then the Brontosaurus went and killed this other thing, and now they're making sweet, sweet World of Warcraft love. And it's special. It's very special.
Dinosaurs having sex. That's like there's something Lovecraftian about it. It's just so big. I can't comprehend it. Anyway, I went to go see there's a Triceratops at the Melbourne Museum, and I went to go see that with my cousin. She's a mother of 3. She's a primary school teacher. She's educated. And she goes, we were looking at it. She's like, oh, that pelvic opening's not very big. It'd be really hard to push out a baby Triceratops. Do you think it comes out tail first? And I was like, I think it comes out as an egg, Fiona. And she goes, what? And I went, dinosaurs lay eggs. And she's like, wait, what? And I was like, have you not seen Jurassic Park? She's like, yeah, but I thought that's because they were cloning them. And I was like, oh, no.
I'm glad to know our future is in very good hands.
Our future is in very good hands, not to worry.
Very good hands.
That's why you need an Auntie Margy around to teaches the children where dinosaurs come from.
It is interesting that the further and further we get into the future, the further and further we figure out the T-Rexes were kind of just big chickens.
I like to think of the ibis as like a direct descendant of the T-Rex. Yeah.
That's terrifying on multiple levels.
Only when they steal your lunch. Apart from that, they're all right.
No, I literally there's an island near my house that's literally like, if you look it up on maps, it's called Bin Chicken Island.
Yeah,
like, it's quite literally called Bin Chicken Island because they are bin chickens. If you're listening overseas, look up what an ibis is, or just Google bin chicken and they'll come up because that's what they are.
You got pigeons, but we actually have pigeons too.
We have 2. Yeah, we got all of it.
We got lots of different kinds of bin chickens in Australia.
We got all the pests. But we're gonna move now from the nerdiest thing into the medium beat for this week, and I'm gonna kick off the year with what I'm calling a highly, highly controversial opinion that I feel like is gonna upset both of you. And
I'm ready to fight.
Upset you both. So part of being fucking having food poisoning is I watched a lot of movies, and I realized it had been
what the fuck?
I know,
Josh. Jeez,
aggravating. It gets worse.
You should have been working for food. Wouldn't worry about it, mate.
But I went back and I watched all the Star Wars films. I watched them like in chronological, in like release order. So I have 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. And I have come to the opinion that the sequel trilogy is far superior to the prequel trilogy. Like far superior on like metric levels. Because I broke it all down. And I'm like,
Have you got the spreadsheet?
well, I have it right in front of me. I have the notes that I've made.
Wait, let me stop you for a second. How can you have a metric level as to how an art is better than another? It doesn't even make sense.
Because I want to break it down into its
Yes,
metrics.
it does.
Like,
You could do
under this
statistics on
category and this
anything.
category and this category. It's
Yeah,
categorical,
maybe,
I guess, rather than
pseudo
mean-
statistics, maybe.
I think pseudo statistics is the best that we can give it. I don't think you're doing binomial functions or anything. But, you know, like, okay, I'd like to hear this because I've just finished watching the second movie and I'm about to start watching the third. And so far, banging, like Anakin and Padme's relationship, the whole time it's like I push my fingers into my eyes to try and get through it. But R2 being a sassy little thing, like, it's great. Mace Windu.
So if you look at the two trilogies as a whole, right? Phantom Menace and Clone Wars, average at best, but they're quite meh. Return of the Sith, though, good film. I'll pay that. Good film. Then you look at
the Sith.
Heartbreaking.
Same shit. Clone Wars and Phantom, both beige. Absolute beige. Like Force Awakens and Rise of the Skywalker are both good films.
What,
and
you mean A New Hope 2, A New Hope 2, A New Hope? It's the same fucking movie, Josh. It's A New Hope with different characters.
Yeah. Wait, are you talking about No, wait. Which ones are you saying are better? Are you saying
He's saying the Disney trilogy is better than the prequels. I'm saying
7, 8, 9 are better than 1, 2, 3.
They're pretty good, except they're too similar to 4, 5, 6.
Only the first one. Only like Force Awakens, very similar in a lot of ways, absolutely, to A New Hope, but it doesn't technically make it a bad film because A New Hope's a good film.
I love you. I'm going to die in your arms and become one with the Force and then look over you as everyone's celebrating. Oh, that's exactly a scene from episode 6. Exactly.
I will 100% admit that the fucking episode 8, The Last Jedi, is one of the fucking worst films ever made. Openly admit. But there are a couple of good scenes in it.
Everyone says it's really bad, but why is it really bad?
Because it's literally, it would have been amazing as a 20-minute television episode. It would have been great. It was just
it's very drawn out.
It's so drawn out, it's ridiculous. Like it actually, this, like the idea of it's good for a TV show. Like, but it's just, yeah, you watch it and it's just like, it is literally like drawing blood.
That's when Leia spaces herself back into the ship.
Yeah.
And then, yep.
Have you guys seen the meme from that? It's like her in space and then it's like that, oh my wa, Shindu, and her eyes go red and she just launches into the Star Destroyer and it blows up.
That's pretty funny. That is pretty funny. But
the best thing to come from that movie.
If we look at the characters, Padme is fucking woeful. Most of the characters from the original trilogy are not that great, apart from Obi-Wan Kenobi and R2-D2. Like, Anakin's a massive man. Anakin's like Kylo. Everyone's like, Kylo Ren's a massive man baby. So is Anakin. Like, Anakin and Kylo Ren are basically the same fucking character. They're both just massive man babies. But Poe Dameron, I really love as a character. I think he's lots of fun as a character.
Is that just because he's hot?
I mean, he is hot, but also I think he's just a badass. Like, he's just a fucking.
But I feel like Poe and Finn are both wasted after the first movie. Like, they just like get pushed right to the back after.
I admit
Finn was
retconned after the first movie, and they like he had so much set up that he could have been another Force sensitive person. He could have been all these things, but he was great, especially in the first film. And he's like, the idea of his character was really, really good.
And then they just got rid of him.
Yeah, you look at the cinematography, the sequel trilogy is far superior in terms of cinematography. Like, I almost went to say like effects as well, which like I was like, oh, is it unfair?
It's not really fair.
Yeah, but the effects in the original trilogy are better than the sequel trilogy. So I think it is fair because I think they just pushed too hard, too fast.
I don't know. I was showing my housemate episode 4 the other day because she hadn't seen it. She was not impressed and. Yeah, she did not finish watching it. Anyway, and then they put in the animated Jabba the Hutt and into like episode 4, and I was like, oh, what? Oh, yeah. Oh, like, oh, Oh, and that was
Yeah.
that's all the noises I made.
Yeah.
So
Well,
yeah.
I would say
it is terrible.
it's an unfair comparison purely because every single Star Wars film has been the forefront of the time's technology, and it's always been pushing the envelope. So there was nothing better that first Star Wars could have done. You could have gone backwards. So I think it's an unfair comparison because
Fair.
they've always
Well,
had
they-
the cutting edge of technology in the Star Wars. They're basically demos.
Yeah. I mean, well,
And-
that's why I think,
yeah.
like, you know, effects maybe not a fair enough thing to rate them on because of that fact. I think the planets are far more interesting because we don't go back to Tatooine 17
Yes, I
fucking
agree with that.
times. Exegol is a fucking sick planet. In terms of the
Yeah.
fight scenes, the ending on Exegol is fucking sick. The start of The Last Jedi, that the bomber fight at the start and Poe Dameron like facing down with the fucking destroyers is fucking awesome. I think the fight scenes are far fucking better in the sequel trilogy, and the moments just in general, like Kylo killing Han, the Sith Council, the little kid you like who has that little force sensitive moment. I think there is much better like moments in the sequel trilogy.
I don't
than
like
there
the
are in
Sith
prequel
Council
trilogy.
because it goes against the Star Wars law. There could be only 2, no more, no less. And then there's a whole
Well-
fucking choir.
Yeah, that doesn't mean that everyone's Sith. It means that they're followers of the Sith. I
Yeah,
don't think
but
they're
it kind
actually
of
like.
it proves the rule at the same time because before they made the rule, there used to be a lot of Sith, but they used to just always kill each other. So like, all right, you've had your fun. There's only 2 of you now,
Only 2.
and they're like, maybe we try it again. But even then, like, you still had like Asajj Ventress, Count Dooku, and various like. There's always been more than 2 Siths. It's just they're always sneaky about it because they're a bunch of dogs.
Yeah, but yeah,
That's how I would describe Palpatine. Dog cunt. So
I've been in this Star Wars meme group for a while now, and it's always like it's clear that everyone in this group was brought up on the prequel trilogy. Like, we're born up on 1, 2, and 3, and so they love 1, 2, and 3, and they hate the sequels. Like, but I've noticed, especially over the last couple of months, people have started to meme back at those people to like be like, no, the sequels are actually good. People that hate the sequels are just like following the big mean evil meme dude.
Do you
And
see
it's like,
the trend here though?
Yeah,
So here it
absolutely.
is. You watched the originals and you hated the
I did.
prequels. We grew up
did.
with the prequels and we hate the sequels. It's the same phenomenon.
Yeah,
And none of it
But
matters.
so
I
what we
don't hate
need-
the sequels. I just hate that they diverge from the books because the books would have been a way better movie series. I just want to go see Luke married to a space pirate who's kind of on the dark side but wasn't, and then they have kids, and then they go around fucking doing cool Jedi shit. That's all I want out of life.
Yeah, I will agree with all of that. I 100% feel like we should have stuck to the
Yeah,
fucking
Too much canon
the
thrown away.
the book lore, because there was so much rich material they just could have fucking used there. But
I also
in
feel
terms,
like oh, sorry. No, you go.
no, you're right. No, I was just going to kind of be the end of my sentence, just to be like,
Ah.
art 100% is subjective, and I appreciate that. But for me personally, I enjoy the sequels a lot more than I enjoy the prequels.
I feel like the only reason why they
They're fun.
changed the canon is because if they had have made a movie and it wasn't 100% what the book was, everyone would have been like,
Well, I'm
as
still
all
like that.
nerds are.
And they didn't even try to make it like the book. And I'm like, it would be better if it was like the book. Like they could have just done episode 7, Shenanigans in the Galaxy, working title, but I like it. And it's just 30 years down the line, and it's like, oh, this is cool. I like checking in with all my old favorites instead of, all your old favorites are now going to die in front of you. And you're like, oh.
I saw someone make like a fake poster for what they thought episode 7 should have been. It was called Heir of the Empire, and it had that admiral that I forget his name, the evil blue dude.
Tarkin.
Thrawn.
Oh, yeah.
Thrawn, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, Thrawn.
fuck. Oh, he's
It was
so evil.
Yeah, it had like Luke and like a child who would have been fucking. I assume him and fucking, is it Myra Jade? Is that her name?
Yeah, Myra
Him-
something, yeah.
Yeah, it would have been their kid and fucking and then it had Thrawn in and whatnot, and that would have been sick.
Thrawn should not have been thrown away.
Well, he's going to be in Ahsoka, isn't he?
Yeah.
I think they should have just never made that last trilogy and just went straight to premium TV as they did, and it would have been fantastic.
Oh, the television stuff they've produced is far superior to all of it. I loved Andor so much.
Andor's
Loved
fantastic.
Andor. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just coming out so fast now. Like, isn't Mando soon?
Yeah, Mando comes out next month.
Yeah,
And isn't like
March.
another second season of Obi-Wan now as well? Something like that? Or am
I
I
mean,
didn't see that.
I'm
did I
never going to see
seen
no
fake
more Ewan
headlines?
McGregor. It could have been a meme, Grant.
It could have been. I don't know. I don't keep up with these things. I should. I have a nerd podcast.
What are the kids doing these days? Google NERD space stuff. Oh, nerd. Oh.
It's basically it. It's 100%. It's basically it. But this is the first episode of Balrogs Blastbeats for 2023, and we have just started
Season 2.
Season 2, new year,
Electric
same
Boogaloo.
nerds.
Back in the habit.
But I guess we're like, wanted to use this episode as just sort of like looking at the year ahead. What are we personally excited for? What do we see is on the horizon that we're very keen for? What do we hope happens? Hopes, dreams, aspirations for the nerd world. Margy, why don't we start with you? What is I was about to say tickling your biscuit for 2023, and I'm going to stick with that. That was the first thought that came into my head. So yeah, we're going with that. Sorry, Margy. I'm really sorry, but that's where that's the
look. I tried to get laser hair removal, and they wouldn't tickle my biscuit because apparently my medications are photosensitizing. So,
ye who posts nothing but memes about pubes. Honestly, Margy.
Boobs! I post about boobs and I do pube commentary. Jeez.
Pube content. Sorry, boobs with pube commentary. That's it. Yeah, 100%.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, pubes are like 1 letter away from being pubes anyway, so.
True.
This is what I'm excited for in 2023.
Tickling biscuits. Let's start with film releases. Because there's lots of films coming out.
There is a lot coming out.
Heaps. And I'm very excited.
The only two that really tickled my biscuit was part.
I'm sorry.
Is part 2 of June, because part 1, the soundscape and that. Oh, and I'm excited for it to come out as a movie so I could go see it in the cinemas. I could get a giant box of popcorn like I did last time and eat the whole box of popcorn. I really like popcorn. And then feel really sick in the tummy, but really happy. But I'm a little bit worried about the second part because that's when, the plot kind of pops off.
It gets
a
hard,
bit more.
yeah.
It gets, and like, Alia, like that, it's so hard to explain. I have a little sister now, and she's kind of got super freaky powers because of all the spice that Mum ate when she was in the tummy, and she and then like his powers, and like but like
there's going to be a lot of time jumps coming in the second movie, wouldn't there? Because there's a bit of time jumping near the end of the first book, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a lot that goes on, and then I'm also excited for the Dungeons and Dragons movie.
Yeah,
it looks really fun and dumb, and the druid looks like a baller, which is great because as a druid, we are baller, so I like to be portrayed that way. Are you guys excited for that one?
I think I'm in the same boat as you. I think because it looks like it's supposed to be silly, I think it'll go really well. Like it's not like they're trying to do like some like
heroic
it's D&D, but we're gonna make it dark and then have like a couple quips in there. Like the whole thing's gonna be dumb because that's what D&D is. You never do what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, it's like I remember one time we came across a river and the group wouldn't let me turn into a giant toad and swim them all across the river, and I was like, well. That anyway, and all of my solutions, everyone was like, no, like, look, we're just gonna have to find a crossing further on, and it ended up taking like an hour of the game to cross this river. And our fucking DM was like, afterwards was like, guys, that was not supposed to be an incident at all. Like, it was just a river to cross. Like, you guys should have been able to figure that one out. You've got ropes, you could swim, and we were all like, oh yeah. Well, but yeah, no, D&D is, I think the movie will be fun and stupid. And
have either of you been watching The Legend of Vox Machina?
No, I only just got a saw the trailer for it the other day. I'm like, I need to go watch that. It looks hilarious.
Well, is there a season 2 now?
Yeah,
or more episodes?
Season 2 just came out.
Yes,
it's so good.
Well, season 1 was so good because, like, yeah, it's exactly what you want. It's dumb. It's fun. It's D&D. So
yeah, and apparently they're about to do a show now. Apparently, Amazon has approved the show for the Mighty Nine as well, and so
that'd be cool.
We'll get all those characters as well. And then what's the new one? Bell's Hells, I think is season 3, whatever it is. So who knows?
So
Maybe we're gonna get...
are they going to like redo it, or are they just going to go back to and animate like what they already played for like those
No.
old campaigns?
No. So they literally like wrote. Still, like, it's still based in Exandria. It's still based in the same world and everything like
Yeah,
that.
it's
But
just
it's
different
like,
characters. Yeah.
No, same characters, same actors.
No, I mean
but
like
it's
they're not going to be doing
not
like
the
say like
exact
the
campaign.
campaigns
No.
they've already done. Yeah, they're not just going to like keep. It's going to be more structured. It's going to be less like improv-y as well. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I
and
think it'll.
it's so good.
Yeah.
It's gonna be sick.
And
Yeah, absolutely.
there is one movie coming out which I just want to mention just to make you guys angry. There's a new Indiana Jones movie coming out this year.
No.
It can't be. It honestly, it can't be worse than the Crystal Skull.
Maybe we should go watch it and do a live review.
I'm gonna go see it, and I still reckon it cannot be worse than the Crystal Skull. It can't happen. It's
You
not
heard it here
possible.
first.
The only way it could be worse than the Crystal Skull is if it had Steven Seagal in it.
Now you've said that, it's like Steven Seagal is going to be the new Indiana Jones. Like he's going to be.
Yeah, what was he gonna do? Run away from a boulder on his seat? He doesn't stand up in movies anymore, Josh. Have you not seen that? He literally does not stand up. All of his scenes are sitting. He's gonna be having one of those balls tumble after him. He's gonna be in a fucking wheelchair running away from it.
He'll be arguing that is so boss that he can fight a boulder from a chair. Like that's going to be his argument.
He'll punch it and
see that
it'll
now.
shatter. Yeah, I'm about that. Or that's the drama. He's strapped into a car and he has to drive the car away from the boulder. Any movies you guys are excited for?
Pretty excited for John Wick 4. It's got a couple of my favorites in it with Donnie Yen and Scott Atkins, just some martial arts movie alumni. As you know, every John Wick movie's been really well because it really suits Keanu Reeves' ability to not be a good actor and just be quiet.
Hey, he's so hot.
Tell me a movie that he's a good actor in though, because there's none of them except for
John Wick.
Hang on,
Matrix shit.
Hang on.
Point Break.
Oh no,
Matrix
is no.
shit.
He's in a movie on Netflix with Ali Wong. It's like a rom-com, and he acts as himself as her dinner date, but he's really good in it.
I've got it.
Yeah, so he's good at playing himself.
Yeah,
and it's still not a good. And it's still not a good acting performance.
It's brilliant. It's what it is. It's so fucking good. I love Bill and Ted's.
I don't know where this like pop culture has got this from, but he's not a good actor. He's fantastic at John Wick and playing himself, but he's not a good actor. Yeah. He's awesome. Yeah. I love him. It's just
it proves the rule. It's just like you don't actually have to be a good actor if you're just an amazing human being. I think that's exactly. He's just too good of a human being that he doesn't have to act, and people are still like, "I love you."
He's better now that he doesn't act as much.
True.
I'm also excited for a movie that I just come across today called Cocaine Bear.
I had that on my list too.
So I know the story about this.
Yeah.
If it's based in real life.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah, the 1980 Coke Bear.
Oh my god, you guys are in for a treat because that guy who crashed the plane, etc., which led to the Cocaine Bear incident. I'm trying not to give anything away. So fucking funny. He is a character.
The trailer gives all of that away and then some.
I didn't watch the trailer because I wanted to. Yeah.
The trailer is fucking glorious. Like absolutely glorious. Like it's like I don't know, somewhere between Sharknado and Scary Movie almost. Like it looks so fucking good.
But it looks like it's actually got a budget.
Is it about the Cocaine Bear rampaging, or is it about Okay, because in real life,
it's not as serious.
Okay, because in real life, they found the bear dead in the forest near the packets of cocaine that it had ripped open, and it had eaten like a shit ton of cocaine, and then there was just a dead bear next to it, like because the bear had eaten like a lot of cocaine, and it just overdosed and died. But you could still visit the stuffed cocaine bear. They have a taxidermy of it, and you could visit it in Kentucky.
Go and check out the trailer for it because it's so funny. Like I'm so excited for it.
There's another movie I saw as well. It's called Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey as well. It looks like a Winnie the Pooh horror movie where Winnie the Pooh's a murderer, and that looks fantastic as well. So I'm keen for that.
Is that actually Winnie the Pooh, or is it like someone in a Winnie the Pooh suit?
Oh, it's called Winnie the Pooh, Blood and
God,
Honey.
I hope it's actually Winnie the
Oh.
Pooh. That'd be so funny.
I think it might be. I haven't watched the trailer. I don't know. I got this thing about not watching
Oh,
trailers.
I
'cause
think it comes
I
out
don't-
on Valentine's Day. Oh my! Oh no! Oh! Oh no! Oh! Oh!
I think it's a horror movie, Margy. It might not be up your alley.
Oh! It's just the mask. Oh God!
I don't know
Piglet's
if it's a
got.
mask.
I think Piglet's got. Oh! Oh no! Piglet's got tusks. Oh jeez! Oh no!
So we're doing a whole episode where we record this podcast in the cinema while Margy's watching it. Me and Grant will just kind of whisper to each other, and Margy will just react, and it'll be the best
It'll
podcast.
just be
It'd
me
be hilarious.
crying. I feel unwell. Oh no. Oh no, me gusta.
Yeah.
Well, that'll be fun. I can't wait for that.
I've got a couple of others on my list as well. I've got the Equalizer 3, which is basically just John Wick, except for it's Denzel Washington, and he just shoots up people in a shopping mall. So it's
As you do.
exciting.
Yep, sure.
Yeah, I'm about that. That's always fun.
Anything
go
with
wrong.
Denzel, I'm about. So I love Denzel. He's definitely
Yeah.
my male hall pass from my partner. So I'll take that.
Nice.
Ooh.
And then the last one on my list is The Covenant, which I only just found out today, which is another Guy Ritchie film with Jake Gyllenhaal and Anthony Starr. Anthony Starr's the guy who plays Homelander in what's it called, The
Oh,
Boys.
Boys.
Damn.
I think that's more of a serious film, so I'm not sure how it's going to go, but it's got Jake Gyllenhaal in it, so it should be pretty good, I imagine. He's usually
Fuck yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
I hope they both play
about you?
sociopaths.
Well, I think it's a war-ish movie. I think it's Jake Gyllenhaal carrying Anthony Starr, who's injured out through a war thing. I don't know. I didn't watch the trailer either.
Just put him out of his misery and shoot him.
Yeah.
Worry about yourself. I would
I've
not
got
win a
this
Medal of
weird
Honor.
thing about not watching trailers because I feel like they give away so much these days that I just can't do it anymore.
Like
I just want
the
to go watch the
Oppenheimer-
movie.
The trailer for Oppenheimer, I was like, immediately I was like, this is a movie about Oppenheimer, and then it's I become
The
death
trailer
at the
gives
end, and
away
I was
nothing. Yeah.
and it gave away absolutely the entire movie. I was like, working as a scientist, works on the atomic bomb, begrudgingly. Oh my god, this is so powerful. Oh my god, we drop it. Oh my god, what have I done? I was like, yeah, are we never
But that's all the stuff we know. Like, that's why I like the Oppenheimer trailers,
Well,
because it's like that's all the stuff that
yeah.
we know. But it's like, what else happens in the film now?
But I thought the whole thing was it wasn't
it.
begrudgingly until after. I think he was fine with it until he figured out, oh shit, wait, this is what I've done, and it's too late.
As long as someone whispers, "What have you done?" in it or something, and it's like,
Dun, dun, dun.
yeah. Josh, what are you excited for?
Yeah,
Sorry
what's
for-
on your radar?
I mean, obviously, the fact that I fucking love my comic book films. James Gunn has announced the first slate of DC stuff that's coming through. Now he's in helm, and his whole plan, and that's it sucks obviously that Henry Cavill's no longer involved, but now Henry Cavill's doing a Warhammer 40,000 thing. I'm so happy that he's not doing fucking Superman
His
anymore.
jawline is the
Because,
Warhammer. That's the
glorious.
surprise.
It's 100% it. It is 100% it. But yeah, James Gunn scrapping a whole bunch of stuff, kind of starting again, and he's going interesting with a couple of things. He's got a spin-off about Amanda Waller, who we've seen in Peacemaker and who we've seen in Suicide Squad and stuff like that. Superman Legacy is not an origin story, as I said. It focuses on Superman balancing his Kryptonian heritage with his human upbringing. He's the embodiment of truth and justice in the American way. He is kindness in a world that thinks kindness is old-fashioned. So I think it's going to be interesting to see a slightly darker
Lady.
Superman.
He's got to wear a fedora.
Yeah, it seems like they're going a lot more serious. They've got lanterns, which is obviously about the Green Lanterns, but they say our vision for this is to be very much in the vein of True Detective, which I think is, again, it's going to be
very dark.
interesting to see how because Green Lantern has so much fucking fresh history, and if we kind of ignore the abomination that was the mid-2000s film, so I'm pretty keen to see what they do with that. But then they're going with they've got a new Batman coming through, but it's Batman with Damian Wayne. So that'll be interesting.
I don't know that comic. I only know Batman and Robin.
Damian Wayne was the second
Sorry.
Robin. You're fired.
Wait, really?
I mean, you're definitely
Wait,
talking
does he
to
die?
two people who don't really know too much about comic stuff.
Does Robin die? Oh my god! Why is there a second
think-
Robin?
I think he just gets a new orphan every time it goes, to be honest.
I mean, no. The first one becomes Nightwing, and then the second one dies, and then the third one, the second one becomes Red Hood. Jason Todd becomes Red Hood. Damian Wayne dies. Fuck, there's 4 of them at least. Then who's the 4th one now?
Sorry,
I'm
but
blanking.
Child Protective Services should be getting involved at some point. Fucking hell.
He's rich, so I don't care.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
just brings on a new warden. No one gives a fuck.
Yeah.
But I think the one that I'm most excited for is Booster Gold. It's going to be a HBO series, but Booster Gold is like a lesser known hero, and his whole shtick is that he's actually like a loser from the future who goes back to nowadays, and just uses like future technology to pretend he's a superhero. He's like a superhero with imposter syndrome because he's not actually a superhero.
Ooh, I like that.
I'm pretty keen to see what they do with Booster Gold, because that, like, if it's in the same sort of vein as, like, maybe obviously not as like bloody as the boys, but in the same sort of like boys tongue-in-cheek way of doing it.
Yeah.
I think that would be fucking
I
very
honestly wouldn't be surprised if they take more from the boys' book, because they basically the boys outviewed like all the major players in the last couple of years. So I wouldn't be surprised if they take a couple pages about making it grittier but a bit of funny. I don't know. We'll see.
So and then like he did announce a Swamp Thing one, like a horror film, as like doing Swamp Thing, which now that Marvel have introduced Man Thing in fucking Werewolf by Night, will be interesting to see how those two, because people will pick sides on that one. I'm 100% sure. But we'll see. And again, if they lean into like, because Alan Moore did amazing stuff with Swamp Thing. So if they follow a lot of Alan Moore's stuff, heaven on earth. So I'm very keen. I mean, like you said, D&D June, keen for as well. But the Marvel and DC. So I mean, Ant-Man comes out in 2 weeks, which I'm very excited for.
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man.
Didn't they already do Ant-Man?
Well, they've done 2 Ant-Mans. This is Ant-Man 3. We're into Quantumania now.
Keep up, Margy.
Honestly, Margy.
There's more than one Ant-Man. They're a colony.
If they that is a movie I would be into, where it's a colony of ants that have got Ant-Man's power. Now that's fucking. I'd be into that.
I think was that Eight-Legged Freaks?
Eight-Legged Freaks is such a fucking good film. Such a good film.
You guys mentioned The Boys. Is season 4 of The Boys coming out this year? Do we know?
I'm pretty sure they've been working on it for a while. They might even.
Yeah, they started in August last year, so.
They put them out quick, to be honest. They fucking churn that stuff out. I don't know if they even have time to do anything else. I don't get it.
They don't edit. There's no special effects. It's all real.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Because for TV, that would be one of my top picks for the year if it's coming out.
I didn't even do a list for TV. Whoops.
Well, Mandalorian season 3 and Attack on Titan will finish this year, apparently. Finally, it's scheduled to finish at some point. I don't know. Apparently, it's still getting released. I don't know. I'm confused, but I really need to finish watching Attack on Titan, but I can't bring myself to do it.
We can't lose everyone's favorite neo-Nazis.
Wow. The German undertones.
Yeah, it's pretty in there.
Oh, wait, some glass is shattering in my head right now.
Oh, you didn't notice that before? Sorry, no. I didn't just ruin it for you, did I?
Well, I'm not excited for that anymore. Anyway, so Mandalorian season 3, potentially The Boys.
It looks like there's no date. I just had a quick look, and it looks like there's no date set.
Story of my life.
It'll be this year. They hammer out those seasons.
Well, it's going to be interesting. Games. Any games y'all excited for?
Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. This is the year for sequels, and they're going to be fan-fucking-tastic. So, The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom is the follow-up to Breath of the Wild, which is one of my favorite games I've ever played.
Yeah, that game looked fucking sick.
Oh, so I'm excited for that same world, just with technology that's way better. It was one of the first games that came out on the Switch. Even still looks better than the new open world Pokemon games that came out 6 months ago. So
Sick.
Zelda always sets the benchmark for a new technology for Nintendo. So this next game should be banging. What about you, Josh? What you got?
Oh, my list is quite solid. Like number one that I'm very, very excited for is Atomic Heart. Atomic Heart is like an alternative past USSR. Sort of like it looks like basically Fallout meets BioShock, and it looks
Ooh.
fucking incredible. It looks like they had this scientist in like the 50s who created this like polymer that then led to AI. And so it was like the first series of AI robots came out and they were amazing, and they're just about to launch the second series, and like everything fucking goes wrong. And so you're this like you're like this like special like USSR like SAS agent sort of thing, and you've got to go in and figure out what happened and sort of like reset the fucking I think you've got like reset the system sort of thing, but you have to fight your way through these fucking sick things, and you've got like this power in your hand that shoots out like it looks
cool.
fucking amazing, and like the
I'm into
upgradability of
that.
the guns, like it looks fucking awesome. And so Atomic Heart's number one. I mean, Grant, you talk about sequels. Diablo 4 comes out this year. Space Marine 2 comes out this year.
I definitely left those off my list for you to cover. I've got a very long list, but I was like, I'll leave them for Josh.
Like, Space Marine 1 was one of my most played Xbox 360 games. I played through that one so many times because it is just so good in terms of the scope, in terms of the story, in terms of like what happens in it. Like it is literally just everything. I like it's in my opinion, it is the best Warhammer game they've made, and they've made a fuckload of them.
Yeah, they have heaps coming out. I've never played a Warhammer game. Like, I've never played any of the Total War games. I've never played any like the first person like Vermintide style games. I've played
Vermintide's really good. The Dark Tide that just came out is good, but the story's really lacking in it.
Yeah, okay.
Which is depressing considering the story was written by like the main writer at Warhammer, who is a phenomenal writer, Dan Abnett. But yeah, the story is just kind of missing in Dark Tide. The Dawn of War was really, really good, but yeah, Space Marine number one, and like Space Marine 2 looks sick, and this time you're fighting Tyranids instead of orcs, which will just make for all kinds of carnage, and it's just going to be awesome.
Star Wars Jedi Survivor, I am excited for that.
Yes, that was second on my list.
Which is saying something for me, because I don't even play video games, but I'm really considering getting the capability to play it. Thanks. I'm going to have to Google that one. And the money. I have no money. So, but if I did have money, and if I get ADHD medication, I'll be unstoppable and I'll play it.
Then it's over.
It looks so fucking sick.
It is, yeah. I loved The Fallen Order. That was a fantastic game. One of my favorite games of more recent years. And yeah, Jedi Survivor looks like it's just going to expand on that and be even better.
And you can do like different like the lightsaber combat. Like I was reading about it has been like really leveled up with like different stances you can take to use different fighting forms when you're doing it and shit. And like it looks right up my nerdy alley.
Very, very sick. And one more that's like I reckon could be a bit of a sleeper because the idea behind it is sick. Is a game coming out called The Lies of P, which is basically like. People keep framing it as Pinocchio meets Bloodborne. It's like a really dark Pinocchio. Like it looks.
What do you mean Pinocchio meets Bloodborne?
It's how people are describing it, and you watch the trailers for it, you watch the gameplay for it, and it is like dark. Like it is really, really fucking dark. And it's like, and again, like it might have a bit of like BioShock Infinite sort of vibe to it as well. But. Yeah, The Lies of P. I reckon I reckon that's going to be one of those games that like comes out and everyone's like, that game.
Oh, do you mean Bloodborne visually? Or do you mean like combat wise? Because that's where I'm like, I don't get the connection between Pokio and like Commando rolling.
Pokio.
But it is Pinocchio fucking shit up. Like it is.
Okay, that's interesting.
It is an action game.
Well, we're talking about all these, all these like BioShock and all that. So, did you hear they're remaking System Shock, which is the game that inspired all that style of Dead Space, BioShock, all that survival horror, checking PDA having to read it for 10 hours, all that kind of, basically all those styles of game all come from System Shock, which came out in like 1994.
Yeah,
And
I'm pretty sure
now
I
they're,
played System Shock when
yeah,
it
it's
came
like
out.
PS1, I think. And like, yeah, Deus Ex Machina, same, like all basically based off that one game. And now they're remaking it.
Sick.
So I'm pretty excited for that.
Are they
Yeah.
remaking Dead Space as well? Did I see that correctly?
It already came out. It came out like a month ago. So I'm gonna have to
Shows how
get
much I pay
that.
attention.
Yes, apparently it's very good. They've changed the story for the better. Like they've added different endings depending on what you do, which
Nice.
is exciting because the ending was pretty good for anyone who's played it. Like that big twist is like you already know. I won't say it, even though the game came out literally.
You were dead all along.
Dun, dun,
No, not
dun.
you, but someone else. Yeah, a game came out 15 years ago, so most people.
I'm pretty
know
sure that's
twist
at the Sixth Sense, and that's a movie, not a game. But whatever.
end.
God, I hope
There's
they don't
also-
remake that.
It's also
Um,
Wolong, the Fallen Dynasty, that's coming out this year. It's made by the same people
Ooh.
who did Ninja Gaiden and Nioh. So it's kind of like a Soulsborne game meets Street Fighter. So you do like kind of rolls and parrying and stuff, but you have like full combo list as well. Like it's like
Nice.
like all those games to me are just like Soulsborne on steroids. I love them. Like I don't really
Fuck
like.
yes.
I've never really gotten to Dark Souls and all that, but yeah, Ninja Gaiden games, fucking love that shit. We got Alan Wake
Yeah.
2 as well, which is kind of one of the original psychological horror games that kind of is more narrative rather than gameplay wise. Like there's not really much combat in it. It's more like you just walk around with a flashlight, and if you run out of batteries, the shadows is going to eat your heart through your asshole, kind of thing.
That sounds like the Winnie the Pooh movie. Oh.
Yeah. So everyone's been basically waiting for that sequel for about nearly 20 years. So I'm pretty keen for that.
Yeah.
Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl, I am hopeful will come out this year because Stalker is another one of my real, go-to games. But because Ukraine's been getting bombed for the last 2 years, they haven't been able to really develop it, unfortunately.
Oh,
So
yeah.
hopefully when the Russians go home, I'll get my fucking game because that's exactly what I should be worried about in that scenario.
Yeah,
Well, go over
absolutely.
there and help out. Guerrilla
Yeah.
warfare. Come
Yeah.
on. If you
We
really
got
cared about it.
Starfield, which we haven't touched yet.
Starfield, I'm very keen. I didn't know if that was
Yeah.
coming out this year. I couldn't actually.
Ooh.
I'd actually
No, it is.
look for a
It
release
is
date
this
for
year.
it. but-
At least it's slotted
okay.
for this year at the moment. I think it might even be first quarter. I don't know.
Oh, it looks pretty.
So that's
Yeah.
just instead of Far Cry 3 being Skyrim with guns, this is Skyrim in space, apparently. So this should be exciting.
Yeah.
I
Also,
like what I see.
yeah, it looks good. Yeah, hopefully it's not a horrible dumpster fire like
Oh my
Fallout
god, it's a fully
76.
clothed woman. I'm so into that. Oh,
Pass.
fuck.
No, you
Josh
can't
has
have
lost
that.
interest. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you've just
All right.
ruined video
Ruined.
games for me.
Oh,
I can't
knew I
believe there'd
would.
be someone adequately dressed for the situation they're undertaking. Ridiculous.
they're not naked in space. What the fuck?
What do you mean
But
they
yeah,
don't
no-
have a space bikini on?
Grant, I'm going to agree with you. I'm hoping that Todd Howard has learned his lesson from Fallout 76, that he's not going to release anything that's fucking less than perfect.
Yeah, but at that same point, like we're like, when have they ever had a perfect game?
Fair.
Like,
Fair.
never. I still have glitches in Skyrim, and they've released it like 6 times.
The perfect game does not exist. Is that because I think we could do a brief touch on some music that we're excited for this year, maybe.
I mean, yeah, Margy, if you have music you're excited for, I'm keen to hear it.
Yeah, I am excited for the build up in female fronted heavy bands,
Bet.
which we're seeing more of. So I discovered, thanks to Brooklyn Vegan, fuck, I love Brooklyn Vegan. I discovered Brat, who are a New Orleans band, and they're self-described as bimbo violent / bimbo core. So blonde female vocalist who has gutturals, like, because a lot of the time when there's a female vocalist in heavier music, like you could tell it's a female vocalist, like differences in register and all of that kind of stuff. Absolutely fucking not. She is fucking savage. And they only had their first full year as a band last year, and they've been picking up a lot of traction. So hopefully we get some releases and shit this year. Because on the home front, We've got like Terminal Sleep, who are really kicking off in
Oh,
Melbourne, and
what a band.
Volatile Ways. What a fucking band. They're a Wollongong band or Newcastle band, Volatile Ways. And again, female fronted, fucking sick.
Yeah, crushing
I'm
it.
seeing both of those bands next weekend.
Oh, you're going to Thought Domination.
Thought Domination.
Yes.
Yeah, I've been, especially Terminal Sleep. I've been following Terminal Sleep's kind of rise over the last little while.
Yeah.
Because it's fucking, they are just killing it, and I'm so excited. Like, yeah, for everything that they're doing, and like, it's funny as well because like, you know, we go into a bit of the music business for a second. Like, my record label was actually looking at signing them, and like my business partner made the very, very valid point of like, bands like that do really, really well in the DIY space because that sound loves the DIY band. And so they've gotten so many fucking viral videos. Beck, the vocalist, has just like, just blah, that's just out of this fucking world. But it's like, yeah, I said to him, I was like, fuck, I'm a little bit bummed we didn't sign them. And he was like, nah, because it probably wouldn't have happened if we did. And I was like, it's true.
Yeah.
It's fucking true. And that's what has me so excited. I can just cheer them on as a fan and be like, fuck yes. It's so good. I'm so excited for that band.
Yeah, fucking so good. And then there are a lot of good albums coming out from old favorites, like Chelsea Grin. Like they're putting out an album, Neobliscaris. I can never say that. Just pretend I said that right. Yep. Insomnium are still putting shit out. Periphery. I got to drop an album called Periphery 5. Gent is not a genre. Cattle Decapitation have a new album coming out this year, which Grant is wearing the appropriate shirt for. Yeah,
I hope it's good. I didn't like their last one. I didn't like.
Yeah, so hope, but you know that's the thing. Sometimes like, you know, they put like a band puts out like a kind of shit album, you know, especially one that's got such like a long track record, and then they put out one, then the next one they put out's sick, and you're just like, you know, you got to ride the waves.
Yeah, I'm still holding strong.
Yeah,
like, it wasn't awful. I just was lacking savagery. And
Burner, like who are a death metal hardcore band from the UK, who only just discovered, are set to drop a full-length album this year, which will be sick. And I'm excited to go to Knotfest because I will feel like a teenager, and I'm very excited to feel youthful again.
I mean, my list is probably too long, but the one bit of information I'll sprinkle in there is to say that I did see the Job for a Cowboy back in the studio.
I was actually gonna whisper that I heard JFAC have actually just finished the album. So but also it's another thing where Sun Eater was so good that I just don't know how you do better. Like it's like when Behemoth released the Satanist, like every album after that has been balls. Like you went too hard too early. The last two albums they suck. It's like Satanist.
You could argue that for Slipknot's Iowa. Like
oh yeah, I agree as well. After Iowa, I like All Hope Is Gone and a couple songs on Volume 3. But yeah, Iowa was like the gold standard for sure.
It's a tough life. Yeah, but there is a lot of fucking good music that is coming out in the world, which is good. Is music good?
Well, on that highly eloquent note, we are going to move into the final beat for this week. Every week, we ask the question, we put it to the hosts, and then we put it to you as well, dear listener. You've got to follow Northside Nerds on Instagram and on TikTok. The links will be in the show notes. We'll have this answered. We have this question answered, and we want to know what your answer is.
Oh wait, should we do Twitter? Do we try and bring Twitter back? Is Twitter dead? I don't know. Should I try and run the Twitter account?
I mean, you're welcome to. I feel like Twitter's kind of dead, but I mean, yeah, that's why I'm not just with Northside Nerds, but a couple other things. I am unfortunately moving into TikTok this year. I have to stop resisting that. So I'm figuring out ways to still make it mine without feeling like a fucking sellout.
Welcome to being in a band in 2023. We're all going, fuck, we've got to start a TikTok, don't we? It's a tough life.
It's a thing.
Yeah, luckily my phone camera is a potato, so I get out of making any video content. Be poor, avoid responsibility.
But the final bit for this week, we are asking the question to the nerds. If you could have one weapon from pop culture to help you survive 2023, what would you choose and why? Grant, let's start with you. You have one weapon from popular culture to help you survive this year. What are you choosing?
I'm gonna go with the Halo Needler.
Oh, what's
Just
that?
because
That sounds nice.
it
Ooh.
is a weapon that shoots these like purple crystals that are basically life form seeking, and once they land on you, you just blow up. So it's fantastic
Is
weapon.
there a lot of mosquitoes where you're living, or what's the intended use here? Should I be
Just in
concerned?
case. Just in
Just in
case.
case.
Or
I'd be more
what
worried
other?
about nuclear warfare than anything else.
Yeah,
But
better.
yeah, yeah.
No,
I don't
not
think
down
any.
here.
I don't think any
No.
weapon's really going to help with nuclear warfare, though. I think Needler
Yeah.
works.
I don't think
All
like
right.
any. Is there any really a weapon that's going to help you with day to day life? Like weapons are designed to injure people, so why not pick the best one to injure someone?
Yeah,
Like
I
go hard
misread
or
I
go
misread
home.
the question. I did a classic Margy, and I was like, I didn't misread it. I just read one weapon from pop culture. I was like, anything from pop culture, like.
Well, I mean,
Uh,
like you can be as practical or as impractical as you want. Mine are
I,
100%. All four of mine are very impractical.
All
So
four of yours. All right. Well, let me go so you can
yeah.
fucking list stuff when I can have a seat. I came up with a time turner because it is kind of used as a weapon because
It is. It can be a weapon.
They use it to throw a rock at someone.
There you
And to that's the only violence. That's,
go.
oh yeah. Then that whole
You could slap someone with it, I reckon.
yeah, it's a bit of like a thug sort of chain necklace. Because I would like to be able to sleep on top of doing 3 bands and working and podcasting and touring and go to uni because uni Mel won't give me special consideration for touring internationally, even though I'm a registered performing artist and recording artist. But they're like, no, it doesn't count unless you're in like Melbourne Symphony Orchestra. So fuck you, uni Mel. So yeah, if I want to tour overseas, I can't do uni at the same time because they won't give me any special allowances.
Jerks.
So that way I could do it. But otherwise I'll just drop out of uni and continue to be a bum because I don't like to commit to anything. Or, what else is a weapon? I wouldn't mind a quarterstaff. I just think they're really cool. I don't think I need
any quarter
just a big
staff.
mostly
a
just
quarter staff.
just a big stick. Just quite like them.
I'll mail one to you. Don't worry about it.
Fantastic.
I'll go find
Sorted.
one. I'll send it in the mail. There you go. You can have it.
Yay! Yeah, it's all coming up Marg House this year. Love it. All right, Josh. You got 4 listed, so I'm taking it. One of them's a quarter staff.
I mean, I don't actually have a quarter staff on here. I've got 3 honorable mentions. Honorable mention number 1 has to go to the Zorg ZF1 from the Fifth Element, just because that I think would just save you in any sort of situation you would ever find yourself in, because it's fucking just a ridiculously funny piece of material. Cloud's Buster Sword, just because I don't want to be near people and I can just swing that and people will stay very, very far away from me. God of War's axe, because his axes are so sick.
These are just all things that are going to get you put into a
Also, the
into
cloud
a
sword.
facility.
I'm pretty sure, like, if you swung that, you'd want people near you because you're gonna put your fucking back out. It's giant.
I'm just imagining Josh out on the street swinging these around, and someone's just calling up like, "Yeah, there's a crazy person with a real big sword. Can you guys come get him?" And then you just go for a nice psychiatric stay.
Pretty much. But like at the end of the day, I think what I want more than anything is a lightsaber, and I feel like it has to be Darth Maul's lightsaber. I feel like that's what I want. Like if I could just have one weapon from popular culture, it's going to be Darth Maul's lightsaber, just because it's sick. It's just like if I'm going down, I'm going down swinging.
Yeah, because you got to kill yourself with it for sure.
I was planning on not needing a weapon this year. Why don't I think of lightsabers as weapons?
Because it's what does Obi-Wan say? It's a more elegant, from a more elegant time.
Yes, exactly. It's I'm not familiar with such elegant times. Fuck, a lightsaber would be good, except knowing me, I'd probably try to like scratch my back with it and then turn it on and just like impale myself. And I'm like, oh fuck.
Well, are they like actually technically incredibly heavy because like the density of all the power in it? Isn't that the whole thing?
I mean,
like,
yeah.
that's why the Mando cuts himself by accident, because apparently they're like weigh a ton.
Yeah,
I think
speaking,
that's something to do with the dark saber particularly, because I think it's different. I think regular lightsabers aren't that heavy, but we've tried to make lightsabers and someone's made one, and I think that one's really heavy because to power a lightsaber,
laser.
yeah, it's not. I don't think it's a. I don't find. Look, I don't.
If we can find kyber crystals, Grant, the answer is obviously no. But until we find kyber crystals, then yeah, any lightsaber we can make is going to be very heavy.
Funny that. Well, I didn't know we're doing honorable mentions because like I would have just got a Gundam unit. You know, the big robots that you go inside.
That is technically a weapon. That is absolutely true.
I'm pretty sure this island would just be mine.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like the world would be yours. If you owned one Gundam, you could pretty much just take on the entire world.
Japan has one, but it doesn't actually move. It's for show. So I'm going to show them up.
Do you know what would be really useful? A portal gun. Because the cost of living and travel is so expensive. If you could just yourself somewhere, and it's called a gun, so it's a weapon, I guess. But yeah, how fucking useful would that be?
I reckon that's actually the ultimate answer, Margy. I reckon you've just nailed the question on the head. For someone who didn't read the question, you've just nailed the question perfectly.
I work well under pressure. What can I say?
But dear listener, we need to know, what would you choose? What one weapon from popular culture would help you survive 2023? Follow Northside Nerds on Instagram, on TikTok, and let us know when we post the question.
Lightsabers for cats.
No, absolutely not.
We're all
cats are ready to murder everyone. Why would you want to give them weapons to kill people?
It'd be so cute.
No, it
I mean, they're already a danger to the way that our natural life deals, like outside. Like they're already like not allowed outside anymore because they murder every single thing.
Yeah, they don't need.
Next thing you're gonna know, it's gonna be. You're gonna close the door and he's gonna be fucking like Qui-Gon Jinning, fucking hole in the door.
Qui-Gon Jinning, dying. Fuck you, Qui-Gon.
It's good to be back. Yeah,
it's good to be
back.
back.
It's lovely to be back, dear listener. We'll catch you next week with more cats murdering things. Pause.
Yeah,
I can't see him stopping anytime soon.